Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Full-time MMA?
MMA.
Nothing
Yeah.
else?
My life, man, yeah.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full-time
MMA.
And Derrick Slice has been extra hard on himself since his UFC 226 Snoozefest with Francis 5000. And I gotta say this though, Derrick Lewis, get your shit together, big homie, man. This is not what we need from you. You're one of our favorites for a reason. Yeah, the fight isn't what we all expected, but come on, dog, it takes two to tango. And you're dealing with one of the hardest hitters that they've been telling you hits as hard as a motherfucking Ford Escort. Everyone's been counting you out this entire fight. So if anybody's supposed to make action happen in this fight, it's gonna be Francis Ngannou. Derrick Lewis is a guy that's known as more of a slow starter. If he gets a knockout, it's probably gonna be in the third round. But when you're fighting a motherfucking big dude like Francis Ngannou, sometimes you gotta play chess in that octagon, man. It's not always gonna be a Justin Gaethje back and forth war just because you expect it. When you're going, especially when you're going with the guy that hits as hard as Francis Ngannou, are you kidding me? That's like, and this reminds me kind of Tyron Woodley versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. It's not the most exciting fight, but you gotta be careful in there. And even while you're watching the fight, it might not be a lot happening at that second, but you're on the edge of your seat because you know at any moment something can happen. Now, in this fight, that was the case as well. As much as you don't want to admit it, you were probably watching on the edge of your seat because from the first and second round, you expected Francis Ngannou can knock Derrick Lewis out any time. But when you get to the third round, if you know Derrick Lewis, you know he can knock Ngannou out if need be. Also, you've got to take into consideration both of these guys were probably fighting to not get exposed in a sense. Neither one of these guys are known to have the best cardio in the world, so they gotta pull a Conor McGregor and be efficient with their energy. You can't go all out in the first or second round because then you might have an adrenaline dump or just might be out of gas, a la Francis Ngannou versus Stipe Miocic, and you might look dog tired for the rest of the fight, and that's not a good place to be in either. So if you're Francis Ngannou or Derrick Lewis, it's probably a pretty wise strategy to kind of conserve your energy for the later rounds, especially if you're Derrick Lewis, who that's where you shine, especially if you're Derrick Lewis, who knows that guy doesn't have great cardio. So if I can live the first two rounds, I got a great chance in the third round. And so yeah, I understand all the fans wanted to see the fucking Django Unchained Mandingo Madness slobber knocker that we didn't get to see. But the joke's on those guys, because if you're Derrick Lewis, you were a fucking huge underdog in this fight. Everyone was counting you out against the guy that just got exposed in his last fight, kinda, even though it was against the heavyweight champion. But still, as far as his grappling and his cardio are concerned, a lot of people felt like Francis Ngannou was exposed. But yet, everyone's still counting you, the Black Beast, out. And so what are you supposed to do? Just come in here and get knocked out because that's what everybody thinks gonna happen? Fuck no, if I'm the Black Beast, I'm trying to take this fight to the third round, and that's where I'm going to do my damage. And real quick, full-time family, before you forget, make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you're enjoying this video, and also if you're new, hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. And if you want to see more videos like this, just check out the video description, the Full-Time MMA Dojo over here at patreon.com/fulltimemma, and you can see a lot of other cool things, including the goals of this channel, which is something new, so make sure you go check that out. And with that being said, enjoy the rest of the video. But if he's being smart, if Francis Ngannou is conserving his energy, I still got to be careful in the third. But one thing Derrick Lewis was doing in the fight that was fucking pretty dope was those crazy switch kicks. And he was throwing some kicks to keep the distance and do some things in that fight to win him the fight. And he ended up winning. So if I'm Derrick Lewis, I'm not going to come out and be hard on myself because the fans were fucking booing. I just beat the #1 contender. As a matter of fact, we need to be talking about Derrick Lewis versus DC. What the fuck is this Brock Lesnar talk? I'm motherfucking Derrick Lewis, swiggity swinging, banging, motherfucking like I'm turning left, but I'm bigger than busting a ride. You know how it goes with motherfucking Derrick Lewis? Fuck you, Tom Matt. And he was having back issues from the first round. So Derrick Lewis is being extremely hard on himself. But like I said, man, pick yourself up, big homie, because this is a fight and now he's coming out and he's feeling like he's farther away from the title shot. That's not good because kind of a closed mouth don't get fed. So right now, if you're Derrick Lewis, you're now possibly the #1 contender, if not the #2 contender. And the only person that can get a title shot over you is probably Brock Lesnar. So if I'm Derrick Lewis, fuck that. I just beat the #1 contender. You guys all thought he was going to knock me out in the first round, and now you're about to give my title shot to this motherfucking big dude that just failed his drug test, ain't been in the UFC. He's been over there powerbombing motherfuckers in a Hell in the Cell, and he's getting a title shot over me? Fuck no. If I'm Derrick Lewis, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get that belt. Especially now that DC's the champion. You're telling me I can fight a light heavyweight for the heavyweight title? I need that title shot. That's what we're in this for. But maybe for Derrick Lewis, that's not necessarily the case. You know what I'm saying? And I just say that because if you're in here, if your goal as a UFC fighter is to become the champion, I just don't feel like we should be hearing this from you. Like, I know it was a terrible performance. I know I say that a lot, but it was a real bad performance. I know for sure I don't deserve a title shot. I believe it hurt me more than it helped me. Even though I got the win, I believe it set me probably about 2 fights back. Damn. See, and that's unfortunate, because if that's the case, man, Derrick Lewis, sorry to let you know, if you don't already, it's going to be hard to get a title shot. You might not get one. Because you're looking at fights with people like fucking Curtis Blades, Alexander Volkov. You're still looking at some serious fighters up there. Mark Hunt might be resurfacing. Hunt versus Lewis 2 is a fight we could see. Mark Hunt got the better of the first fight, but you had those back issues. But that's another thing, Derrick. Come on, dog. You got these back issues. It's going to be hard to win 2 more fights and get to that title shot, bro. And you got to come out here and make your case for the title fight, or none of us can do it. I'm doing it now, but it's kind of hard. If you're coming out here and saying you don't deserve a title shot, and I'm trying to convince you and the fans that you're up there, it's definitely arguable. If you're going to tell me who gets the next title shot out of Derrick Lewis and Brock Lesnar, the fan in me, the hardcore fan that actually looks at, okay, who deserves the title shot, it's going to say it's Derrick Lewis. Now, if you're looking at it from a business and shit like that, if this was my pocketbooks getting lined, then I'm probably giving the fucking shot to Brock Lesnar too. If I'm the #1 contender and I have a choice, I'm going to pick Brock Lesnar because that's more money for me. But I'm not getting no motherfucking money from Brock Lesnar fighting this situation. As a fan of the sport, Derrick Lewis, you got a good case. It's out of you and who? Curtis Blades, Volkov. Well, you're the veteran. You just got to win over the #1 contender. So I would just like to hear Derrick Lewis come out and at least, hey, yeah, I know it wasn't the most exciting fight ever, but I just beat the #1 contender. I just beat Francis Ngannou. He just fought for a title. So, yeah, I might need another fight. But to come out here and be this hard on yourself, not even just about the title shot. He was disappointed about the fight. Like, man, I'm the one that kind of, called him out at some point. I said I was going to pay him back for slavery, and it was one of the most boring fights in heavyweight history. So, yeah, man, he is down on himself. I understand that. So it is what it is, but I'm not going to be down on Derrick Lewis. Yeah, it wasn't the fight we expected, but it was a great night of fights. I mean, you guys wanted to see one of these guys get their fucking egg scrambled, and that didn't happen. And honestly, I'm just going to be a little bit of a I'm not really a conspiracy theorist, more like a joke. What if Derrick Lewis, because in the beginning he was talking about, yeah, I know why people want to watch this fight. It's like black on black crime, he was kind of joking about how everyone wants to see the fight because it's 2 big black dudes fighting each other. What if he was like, you know what? Fuck these racist motherfuckers. You guys want to see 2 big black dudes motherfucking scramble each other's eggs? We got something for you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all think I'm going to turn it up in the 3rd round. I'm about to fucking do a mime act. There was a point in the fight where Derrick Lewis sat still for like 6 seconds. I thought he was like Nardwuar or somebody. If you don't know who Nardwuar is, I thought he was like a mime, just standing still. Like, what? I was like, okay, Derrick, you can unfreeze now. Yo, that fight was fun when you actually sit back and think about it. Not like the actual fighting, but just thinking about the whole thing and what we expected and what it turned out to be. But either way, man, I feel like Derrick Lewis has been a little too hard on himself, or a lot too hard on himself after that performance. He still came in there and got the W against Francis Ngannou when a lot of people counted him out. And he also came in there, man, and beat the #1 contender. All of that being said. So let the full-time family know what you guys think in the comments. Do you guys think Derrick Lewis's stock dropped in this fight? Or do you think he still should kind of be speaking as if he beat the #1 contender? What do you guys want to see? Who's next for the title shot in your mind? Would you rather see Derrick Lewis or Brock Lesnar? Now, I know it's probably going to be Brock Lesnar, but I'm just saying, who would you rather see? Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. And if you want my answer, it's Brock Lesnar. You can't tell me you wouldn't rather see Brock Lesnar versus DC than Derrick Lewis versus DC. I'm sorry. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. And before we go, shout out to all the full-time MMA white belts that have hit the subscribe button. Also, make sure you hit the bell right next to it so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And this is the hardest working MMA channel on YouTube. We provide daily updates, predictions, betting advice, we do songs, we do fantasy fights, we've interviewed Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley, Bruce Lechemedio, and Felony Charles Bennett, all in just 1 year as an MMA channel. We're one of the fastest growing MMA channels on the net, but we're still small, so make sure you guys go check out the Full-Time MMA Dojo if you want to learn how you can become a full-time MMA black belt. And while you're there, you can see where this MMA channel started from, some of the goals we have for the channel, and even more cool videos just like this one if you enjoyed it. So thanks again to all the full-time MMA white belts that have hit the subscribe button, and also if you're just lurking and this is your first time seeing a video, appreciate that as well. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOWG.